Now, for more on all of this, we're joined by political analyst, author and journalist Raza Rumi. He's in Syracuse in New York. Hi, Raza. Thank you for your time. So the ceasefire is currently underway. There were reports of skirmishes. Those seem to have now ended. But do you think this truce will last this time?
Well, for now, this truce will last because it has been mediated internationally. As your news report was mentioning, how the United States played a role, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and many other countries played a role to impress both sides to calm down and back off and not turn this into a full-scale war, which would have been disastrous for the region and for both the countries. So for now, it will last. But see the fundamental issues here, which are long-standing bilateral disputes between India and Pakistan. They are very much there, and the modality to fix them or address them is yet to be determined. It's very interesting that the U.S. Statements, from Marco Rubio, President Trump, they all indicated that, they've also urged both countries to meet and negotiate at a neutral venue. But both the countries have not really picked on that one, especially India, because India has traditionally said that it would not accept international mediation or a third party mediation between bilateral disputes. So it remains to be seen because ultimately they would have to be on the negotiating table and talk not just about keeping peace on the borders, but also on to how to handle issues such as water, such as the region of Jammu and Kashmir, which is contested, and some part is under the administration of India, while the other is under the administration of Pakistan, and that's also a long-standing dispute. And there are many other bilateral issues that need to be sorted out. But let's see whether sanity and maturity prevails in the leaderships of both countries to sit together and find a way forward that does not entail war or warmongering or violence. Yeah.
Absolutely. The leaders certainly do need to get together to try to resolve what has been a decades-long dispute. But when we look at what's happened over the last 4 or 5 days, so much anger from both sides here, especially the public, a lot of misinformation online as well, fueling some of that sentiment. What do you make of that? Because that's happening in India and Pakistan, but also then the diaspora. It's very difficult for people to know what to believe and what is really the truth.
So I think three major factors have been contributing to this. Well, first of all, it is a reality that India has faced many terror attacks in the past 2 decades or so, but so has Pakistan. And India blames Pakistan for supporting the militants in Jammu and Kashmir, in particular. And then there were the notorious Mumbai attacks in 2008, which kind of shifted India's public opinion. Pakistan blames India for supporting insurgency in its southern province of Balochistan and also helping other militant networks and groups that have been attacking Pakistan continuously, especially in the recent years. So obviously that is the first factor. Then the second, you mentioned online and other sources of misinformation. I would call it, sheer disinformation, and in particular, the media has played a very irresponsible part in this process. You see, corporate media of India, because it's a very big market and it's a huge media ecosystem, sells war and conflict because it brings eyeballs and it leads to profits and advertising. So they have become a sort of an actor in themselves. And they rile up the public opinion. Even when the governments want to back off, the media pressurizes them so much that it becomes very, very difficult. And I think the third issue is the ruling party in India, which has a particular ideological framework in which it operates. It views the Muslims in India as invaders, as the other, and Pakistan, obviously being a Muslim majority country next door, becomes, by extension, not only they call Pakistan, as an exporter of terrorism, but also a problem. And a lot of language which was used on mainstream media was shocking. It was like calling for almost a genocide of Pakistanis, and annihilating Pakistan. Even the serious politicians and commentators there were saying things like that and writing articles of around that, on those lines. And Pakistan, of course, has its own share of India hatred. I mean, one cannot really deny that. Pakistan has had this long, because of the history of 1947 and partition. But anyway, I think that media's role has become very, very dangerous and serious, and would need to be addressed by both the countries going forward. So,
Absolutely.
and the political class in India, which rules currently India and wants to teach Muslims, and especially Pakistan, a lesson, because it's an issue of domestic politics as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, and the really sad thing is that these people have, from both sides, have more in common than they do apart. Everything from language and culture and shared history. Raza Rumi, thank you as always for your analysis. Appreciate it.
Welcome.